Good day, everyone. We're continuing on with the series on the Open Arm Control Hub. I don't know how many parts this series is going to have, but this will be part 2. And today we're focused on control and episode creation. So just to get started, we're going to click on Isaac Sim, both arms, enable, go to simulator, and stay with that. Fix camera, select all the cameras, click on launch Isaac Sim. When Isaac Sim launches, at this point we kind of are going to use it, but we really don't care to have it in the front of the view. So I'm going to just make the screen much bigger so we can make sure that the robot's doing what we want it to do, and then I'm just going to kind of forget about it for a little bit. I know that it works because I wrote it. So first thing we're going to do is enable the topics, and you'll see that all the topics are enabled, including group observation, which is important here because we're going to eventually fine-tune group. And I'm going to select auto send on slider change here, and just to make sure things are working, I'm going to make a small adjustment, and you can see the left arm moves backwards. Just wanted to make sure that. And you might notice the right arm gripper also opens. That's because if you scroll down here, the grippers are already set to be open. So good enough there. What we're going to do today is a little bit different. We're going to look at how to add a trajectory, and purposely kept this out of the last video because there was a lot going on there. And if you can look, it's its own real big animal to do this. So we're going to call this one grab the cube, real original. And what does the trajectory do? It is a baseline for cube grabbing. Now we also have the leader arm, and so we can use the leader arm as well, but right now we're just going to use the sliders. Add a keyframe. So I'm adding a keyframe. This one, it's just a default keyframe. I'm labeling it kind of nothing, but the label could be important in the future if you're trying to distinctly tell a model to do a thing. Like for instance, this would probably be near the home position, so I would call that home if I wanted to. And then as I've done this so many times that I kind of can move to exactly the location that I know I need to move to. But what I want to do is show a trajectory over time. So what we're going to do, well, first of all, the camera froze, so I'm going to turn the camera off. It's not useful. So what we're going to do is show that trajectory over time of grabbing the cube. We're going to label the time, the amount of time to hold that position, which is going to be 0 in this particular case, and then the interpolation cubic is fine. So let's we're looking at the right shoulder primarily, and so we'll look at get a little bit of shoulder yaw moving. So you'll see the arm kind of roll back that way. And while this is going backwards, I want the elbow to move to this particular position as well. So I'm going to start the elbow pitch a little bit. Actually, that's the other direction. Okay, so here it would hit the pedestal if I had it move too much. So what I'm going to actually do is just have it slightly start moving, like right there. Good enough. And then as we start to see this unfold, really we need to just get to this position somewhere around, actually know what it is exactly because I've done this so many times with the cube in this particular place. Somewhere around here is good of arm backward swing, and then because we don't want to immediately run into that pedestal, we're going to just slightly increase this, the elbow pitch forward, and I'm going to call that moving keyframe, kind of moving to avoid obstacles. And I'm gonna give it a time of maybe a second and no hold duration because it's moving, right? And add the keyframe. You can't see me, but I'm now adding visuals with the camera, but it doesn't help because you can't see that. So that's a label, moving to avoid obstacles. And then I'm finally going to extend that elbow, or actually retract that elbow. I don't know what doctors call it. I'm gonna pull that elbow into about a 90-degree, so somewhere in there. And this is in radians, so it's not 90 degrees. But if you look at here, let's move the camera a little bit, just so the perspective is better. But for what we're talking about right now, this is okay too. So here we're gonna move that camera to a decent position, and then I'm gonna call that, fully backward. Whoop. Okay. Now, as you guys know, those of you that watch my channel know I can make Groot do this as well, but I'm trying to show Groot, or actually Gemini, I'm trying to show Gemini how I want to move in several different aspects, and I'm going to create 10 to 15 of these along with 10 or 15 imitation learning from the leader arm trajectories, and then I'll fine-tune Groot on that. So here I'm saying about less than 2 seconds, be fully backward. So I add that keyframe, right? Fully backward. And I think just for help, I'm gonna, maybe I won't do that. So now I'm fully backward. Now I want to bring that shoulder back, right? Somewhere in there. Let's take a look. That's a little overshot it. So let's bring it back a little bit. And a lot of times what I do is I just bring this over so I can see everything at once, just like that. And then I can kind of fine tune that. Perfect. Okay, so this is ready to grasp. So I'm going to call that ready to grasp. And I want it to slowly move over there. So I'm going to give this a whole lot of time. I'm going to give it like ready to grasp. Okay, so 2.7 seconds, we're ready to grasp. Now, could I do this as fast as the robot's capable of doing? Absolutely. It's the fact that it's around humans. Do we want that? Absolutely not. So we're ready to grasp here. Okay, and now, and you can see here, if I want to, I can delete a particular index. I was going to figure out how to do it right in line, but whatever. Okay, so ready to grasp, and then we want to fully clamp down on that that gripper. So we're going to close this guy up all the way, right? So it's now fully closed down as much as it can. So it's holding on to the gripper tightly. I'm sorry, holding on to the object tightly. So I'm going to call that grasping object. And I'm going to say that maybe at the, we don't want it to be like super aggressive, but we do want to get onto the object as it were, grasp the object. So we're going to say maybe 3.3 and hold duration. We're maybe before we let anything else happen, we're going to go like maybe for a second, hold duration, seconds. So it's going to hold this particular position before we let the next position happen. So I'm going to say move object or lift object. And obviously lift object, all we need to do is take that shoulder yaw up. So let's not screw this up by going in the right direction. There we go. Because if you don't do it correctly, it will feel like that's going to drop the cube. It's like really precariously holding it. But hey, this is just a demo. So we were able to lift the cube up. Great. And maybe a little bit more. There we go. All right. So we have the cube. And grasp the cube is complete. So we're going to say that's lift the cube. We're going to do that over maybe that long. Lift the cube. And then we're done. Okay. So this is what we have going on here. Could we reverse this? Yeah. We could take these keyframes and invert them. I have not coded that, but that's a great idea. Rather than have to hit reset, maybe we could do that. Let's see if we can do that. So what we're going to do is just the opposite. We're going to put the cube back down. I think it was somewhere around here. Ooh, too far. Good enough, right there. And I'm going to say, call that place object. And I'm going to do that over my last one. I actually wanted to hold even longer, but place object, and now we're just going to open the gripper somewhere around there. Call that open gripper. And maybe not that long, just open the gripper. And then I'm going to go up and out, and so I'm going to go, and I can go kind of, I hate the word violently, but I can go as fast as I want to up now, as I don't have the object in my hands anymore. So I can kind of go really up kind of fast. And I'm going to say move up, and I'm going to call that excuse me, that keyframe like that. And then let's do something cool to round it out. I'm just gonna give myself a little shoulder pitch out a little bit more. And I'm also going to bring that guy back. And I can do that simultaneously because I've already avoided the cube. So somewhere in there like that. And I'm going to call that move out. And I'm going to do that at the 7.5 frame. And then finally just close everything up. So I'm just going to track the elbow or extend the elbow. Do that opposite for whatever reason. I'm going to extend the elbow. And I'm going to bring that shoulder pitch back. And finally bring that forward so it's a little bit more natural. Still not natural, so I'm going to go. And I can just put zeros for these and it'll just go to 0. So let's say 0, 0, 0. Okay. So it brings us back to the 0 position. Okay. And I'll say go to home. And I'm going to do that at the 8. So this whole process should take about 8 seconds. Add keyframe, and now we're done. So we're exactly where we need to be, and it works. Now let's check if we can play it back. Now playback, usually I hit reset, so we'll see what happens if I do it this way. Yeah, it doesn't like that. But I think you have to hit reset first. That's the way I've coded this. So first, position time 0, 8.6 seconds. I'm going to stay in the speed that we're in. I'm going to click on save. And now that did not update. Oh, I've got some more work to do before I do that. But anyway, so that's the, it did save as grasp the cube, but it doesn't reload it here. I will work on that so that you could just play from that particular position. But anyway, there's that. I think, yeah, so position 0. And let's see if it'll play it. Yeah, I think I need to reset cube to do that. But anyway, so this is exactly what we're trying to accomplish. That's a really good one. After we're sure it works, we're going to export that to, so it's actually an episode for our robot training data. All right, have a great day.